Hey guys, my name is Judy. Welcome to the first ever episode of Broken But Not Defeated. It's nice to be here. Thank you. So I'm gonna be sharing a story about how I lost my son and what Broken But Not Defeated is all about. Before I proceed with what happened to my son and what Broken Defeated is about, please like, comment and subscribe, because on the following episodes I'm gonna be interviewing different ladies that have lost their children due to different circumstances, due to different reasons, and they're gonna be educating us about the loss and how they went through the process and how they are healing. So 2 years ago, it was the 5th of April 2018, I was blessed with a son. He was born very healthy. And nothing was wrong with him. He was breastfeeding. He was a healthy baby. I went through my prenatal journey with my husband. Everything was fine. We thought finally we have a son together, because both of us are parents, but he has a child before marriage. I have a son also that I got before marriage, but we came together, we got married, and then we had our firstborn. It was my son. His name was Bohlokwa. So Bohlokwa was fine up until the week 6 of his life, where I took him to the clinic for the injection. Because usually when you take the child for injections, you take them for injections after they have completed the 6 weeks. So he completed his 6 weeks on Thursday, and my date was on a Tuesday. I was supposed to go to the clinic on a Tuesday for his injections. Cool. So we woke up in the morning, bathed him, and we got to the clinic. So when we got to the clinic, the sister told me that because previously she had told me when he was 3 days, you have to take the child for 3 days checkup. They need to check if everything is fine with the child and all that, but they don't give the child any immunization or whatsoever. You just take them for 3 days to be checked whether they have grown everything, whether everything is in place. So in that 3 days, she had told me that there's an injection that I did not get. There's an injection that I did not get from the hospital. It was out of stock. So I think it's called BCG or something. So we went for the 6 weeks injections now, the immunization. So it was on a Tuesday. So he had completed his 6 weeks the past Thursday. On a Tuesday, I get there, I tell the sister, okay, I brought him. The sister was like, okay, since we didn't give him the BCG when he was 3 days, I'm just gonna give it to him now. Remember, the BCG is an injection that he was supposed to get at birth. So at birth, when they said it was out of stock, I asked, when I took him for 3 days checkup, whether I should take him to a private clinic or private doctor to get that injection, and they told me no, don't worry. BCG, it can be given to a child at any stage of his life from birth till 24 months. So I was like, okay, chilled. If it's not urgent, then I don't see why shouldn't he get it at 6 weeks. Fine. So at 6 weeks, there's another injection that he's supposed to get. Now, since he didn't get the BCG, he's getting 2 injections. So the first one he was given to, I think, BCG on the left arm, and the other one is on the thigh. I just don't remember which thigh it was, left or right. Fine, cool. I take the baby, I leave. That night night he didn't sleep. So I thought, because you know what, this child is in pain because he got 2 injections, that's why he's not sleeping. And my mom was like, okay, give him the Panado and all that. And remember that the hospital I gave birth in is a public hospital. The clinic I went to, it's a public clinic, right? So everything was done in a government facilities. Cool. And then the following day, it's a Wednesday. My son is not as I'm used to seeing him. He's not himself. He's crying all the time. He's not taking milk. He's not feeding. He's not breastfeeding. He's not taking anything. My mom is like, let's try to buy him something like formula or something. Let's give him a bottle or something, because he's just crying. He's not eating, and we stressing. We like, okay, a child cannot not eat the whole day. It's unlikely and it's dangerous. Okay, cool. Around 6 at night, we took him to the hospital, another public hospital, not where he was born, but another public hospital. So we took him to a public hospital, and then the doctor that saw him that night told us, no, he's fine, he's not dehydrated or anything. He checked his poo. He's like, no, he's fine. The only problem with him is that he has blocked nose, and when he has blocked nose, it's difficult for him to suck on anything, whether it's a breast or whether it's a bottle, whether it's anything. So it's difficult for him to like suck and breathe at the same time, because the nose is blocked and he cannot breathe, so that's why he put him in a nebulizer. He put a nebulizer on him, and then after that the nose was fine. He could breathe. He was taking the milk, he was taking the breast, and he was breastfeeding, and everything was fine. He told us, take this Panado, take this antibiotics, and give it to him before he sleeps, and in the morning he will be fine. We're like, okay, cool. We leave. When we get home, we give him the medication, and then he sleeps. So in the morning, my husband and I decide that, you know what, since we saw that he has a problem with blocked nose or lungs or whatever the situation may be, why don't we just go to the nearest pharmacy and buy him a nebulizer so that we have it in the house? So we decided, cool, let's go. Before he could, because I was at my mother's house, remember I had just given birth, and then he was at our house. So before he could come fetch us, I could notice that my son's poo has become very loose. Like, it's like diarrhea now. It's like he's I'm like, oh, okay, what's wrong? Okay, I took the first nappy out. Within 30 minutes, there was another one, and the poo was very, very loose, and it was getting very stressful, and I was very worried about it. I called my husband, and I'm like, yeah, babe, come, let's go to the pharmacy very quick, because like I don't understand what's happening. Let's go to the pharmacy and then take him to the doctor. He said, cool, fine. So he came. When we got to the pharmacy, this is now around 10 a.m. When we got there, I'm sitting waiting for the pharmacist to come assist us with the whole nebulizer thing. And then I noticed that the poo is more than water now. It's slimy. It was slimy, and it had gone up until his baby grown, and we had to change him. So I'm like, quickly go to the nearest store and buy him another baby grown so that we can change him, because now the ones that we had were already wet. So he quickly went, and then I changed him. I put another baby grown, because the store was not far. It was actually like 2 stores away from the pharmacy. So we got it, and then I changed him. we saw the pharmacist. When we saw the pharmacist, he was getting paid suddenly, like the breathing. It's now it's now a Thursday. It's now a Thursday. Yes, it's now a Thursday. So the breathing was not, the sequence of how he's breathing was not, I'm not a doctor, but I could see it was not okay. He was breathing, he was having difficulty breathing, and he was becoming pale. He was light skinned, but now he was becoming very, very offish. He was becoming white. And then the pharmacist was so scared, and then he was like, you know what, you need to take this child next door. So next door there's a doctor there. So he wrote a referral for us, and then we quickly took him to the doctor next door. When we got there, we told the receptionist that the baby cannot wait. The pharmacist said this was urgent. We need the doctor needs to see the baby now. So we're panicking. A few minutes later, the doctor calls us into her office. We go there, we tell her what's wrong. She checks the baby. And then she's like, hey, take everything. You are going to the hospital. This is bad. We like, what's bad? She's like, this is bad. This child is suffering from this and that. She said all these medical terms that I cannot even remember now. And then she wrote us a referral letter to the public hospital that we had taken him the previous night. She's like, take this child to that hospital, to that same doctor. I'm going to call them now. So the doctor that we had taken this child to now, she used to be the CEO to that hospital. She had just resigned from being the CEO or something like that. So she had connections, and she knew who is who from that hospital. So she quickly took her phone, called the hospital, and said, I'm sending this and this person with the child, and this is what's wrong with the child. This child needs to be helped urgently. Right? We rushed to the hospital. When we got there, on our way, I called my mom to come meet us at the hospital. We got to the hospital. When we got there, public hospital. The doctor that was on duty in the pediatric ward, not ward, pediatric, what's this place, like, when you go to the hospital and get it, there are wards, but this place when you get to first before you are sent to the wards, I forgot what it's called. Every emergency patients, they go through that process first before they are taken to the wards. But I forgot what that place is. But yeah, the pediatric side of that place, there was a doctor checking all the emergencies. When we got there, the sister told us, sit down, everybody's on the queue, and we will help you when the doctor is done. And I'm like, sorry, this is urgent. I tried to explain, and she was like, don't you think every mother here has an emergency with their children? And I'm like, oh, okay, I sit down. Oh, I'm holding the baby. Have you seen holding, like, I'm holding a baby that I can see life is coming out of it. Like, this child was lifeless. The breathing, he was like, and he was white. And I don't know what to do. My husband is busy the other side, the reception. He's getting the file. He's opening the file because we cannot be helped with it if we don't have the file. So I'm alone. I'm sitting there. I'm cold. We are there, and I remember this one lady who was cleaning. She saw me with this child, and she wanted to play with the child. So she came closer, and she saw what the baby looked like and what the baby was doing. And she dropped everything. She went running to the other sister to tell her that Sister Oboni. And the sister came, and Sister Hafika snatched the baby from my hands, went to the doctor and said, hey, this child is dying, and you are busy here with kids that have, sinuses, kids that are not an emergency. Yes, they are sick, but this one is dying. Those are not dying. This one had just fallen, and we can put the patches and clean the wounds, but you need to focus on this child, because at this moment this child is a priority. And the doctor called and said this child must be looked at immediately when he gets to the hospital. So you are going to leave everything, you are going to look at this child. So she took the oxygen machine, and then she put the oxygen, the sister now, she took the oxygen machine and put it on my son. I'm sitting there, my mom gets there. When my mom gets there, my mom holds the baby, and then my mom says to me, go outside. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go outside. And she's like, no, go outside, go get some air and all that. So I go outside, I get some air, and they put drips on him. The way the child was not even crying, it was heartbreaking, because he could not even feel the pain anymore. The life was there, but he could not feel the pain anymore. He was not crying. They put drips on him, he was not crying. And when they checked him, they said his sugar level is 0. That's why he could not feel anything, any pain. He was pale, and they put him on drips, they ran tests and all that. So when my husband was done with the file thing, he came, and the doctor called us and said we took samples, and we ran tests, and what we have picked up is that this child is a bit yellowish underneath the eyes, and a bit of yellow is stained on the nose. That means he might have had what's this thing? He might have had there's this other liver thingy, liver disease that they mentioned, and said he might have had it, and it was not treated from birth, né? And so since we were all there, we like, okay, what can we do now? He's like, like at the moment we are not gonna say he's gonna need a liver transplant or anything, because he's very small. Let's try and treat what we see now. So the liver has a bit of infection. That infection may cause organ failure on other organs. It might affect other organs, because once the liver is damaged, other organs are automatically affected. That's why the lungs are having problems with the breathing techniques and how they should be. The speed of the it's not balancing things in him, like the organs in him are not balancing. That's why really we thought matshwafo, but matshwafo were a result of that liver. So they admitted him, and they were like, we're gonna put him under a treatment that is going to be bringing back all the fluids back in his body and balancing the sugar in his body and all that. Fine. The following, okay, we went there, we sat there like till midnight. The following day, we went back to the hospital on a Friday. When we got there, the doctors were like, we put drips on him the previous night, but the medication and the recovery was very slow. So we are going to try another technique, which is to put the drip here on the head. So they're going to shave him off here and put a drip, and they're going to put another drip here on the pelvic area. So we like, okay, no, fine. They did that procedure, and it was successful, and he was stable. And they were happy. They like, the procedure went good, he was stable, and let's wait and up until tomorrow and see if he recovers and everything will be fine. And we were at ease, fine. So the following day, on a Saturday, we got to the 11. When we got there, the doctor came to us, a very petite white lady. She sat on my mom and I, like on our feet. She sat on our feet. My mom was stressed, but she didn't want to show it. I was shivering. I was shivering. And then she said, I tried everything I could, and the procedure we had done yesterday, we thought that procedure was going to help him, but he's becoming worse. The organs are not responding to the medication. It seems as if the medication is heavy, like the organ dinyan medication is too strong for that small body, but that's the correct medication. And she showed us the file since yesterday the organs are dropping, the functioning of the organs is dropping, and he's still alive, but he might not make it. And she said to us, if he makes it, it would be a miracle. But I'm going to try one last thing and call the blood bank, and they are going to bring us blood so that we can just give him a blood transfusion to boost his body, his immune system, his organs, and see what happens. At that moment, I felt like my world was coming to an end, and I just walked out of the hospital. I stayed outside and I told everyone that I want to leave. I want to leave, and they said, no, let's wait for the blood bank, the blood transfusion thing and whatnot. And I said, no, I can't wait. I want to go home. It was around 3 in the afternoon. And then when I got home, I said to my husband, I want to take a nap. So we took a nap around 5. I was woken up by a very, I don't know, I got a shock. I got this other pain from my spine. I was woken up in my sleep by that pain, and I was very frightened, and I was very, very stressed, and I was not feeling myself. And then my mom came knocking and said, we need to go to the hospital, and I knew it. I just burst into tears, and that was it. My child was gone. He was gone. I went to the hospital. I got there and I found them raping him, and it was something that I had never seen before. My son in that lifeless body, he was wrapped in bandages. Only this part of his face was showing, and I held him, but he looked so different. He looked like, I don't know, he looked so different. His body was lifeless. And after that, we buried him on the 26th of he died on the 26th of May, on a Saturday. We buried him on the 30th of May. And after that, I had depression for like months and months. I was depressed. I was angry. I was frustrated. I didn't believe that God loved me. I didn't believe that I'm going to survive this, and I hated a sight of babies. I hated a sight of pregnant people. I hated everything about giving birth, about babies, about everything. And I remember this one time I went to a doctor because I didn't know. I felt sick, and he ran tests on me, and then all these things, sauna and everything, and he said, you are fine, what's wrong with you? And then I told him about he said, you look depressed. And I told him, what's wrong with me? I said, my child died a couple of months ago. And he said, oh, that's why. And he started talking to me, and he told me, you know what, find something that is going to make you feel better, and something that is just going to honor him, honor his memory, honor his presence, and just know that you lost him but you have gained an angel. And after that consultation with that doctor, I decided, you know what, I need to find other ladies that are going through the same thing as me. So I decided to start an organization, Broken But Not Defeated. I posted on Facebook that I'm looking for ladies that have lost their babies due to different reasons, and the response was very positive. People started inboxing me, calling me, WhatsApping me, and telling me their story. And then Broken But Not Defeated was born. And I started engaging with a lot of ladies. After that, I hosted our first ever event on the 1st of December, Broken But Not Defeated. We did a photo shoot, and we went to a venue that I had organized with my pastor. We had catering there. We had a lady, Mema Sekhalo, who is a social worker by profession. We had ladies. We started engaging. Everybody was telling their story, and I realized that we need more things like these. We need, because once you bury your child, people leave. They go back to their normal life, and you are left with this void inside of you, and nobody understands what you go through on a daily basis. It's a pain that never goes away, but you just learn to live with it. So every woman that was present was sharing her story and her journey. After that, we had Mema Skalo engaging with all of us, which was a social worker. And then again, we had another gathering on the 30th of March 2019. We had the privilege to have SABC 2 doing the coverage for us under the show called Untold Stories. We had an event that was very successful. We had more women, we had FAMSA, we had a pastor, Mema Kotsiye, giving us a word. We had a local government that was sponsoring us with that event. We had Miss Dikeledi Direko. At that time, she was the MMC, and her office was about small businesses. I think it was small businesses, I don't remember the full designation of her office, but she dealt with small businesses locally, and she gave women encouragement to be in businesses, to use their skills, to use what they can, to use their pain in developing themselves, in engaging other women. And it was a success. It was beautiful, and from there we were unstoppable. And this gave me a lot of self-healing, because I could see that I'm going through the most, but someone else out there is going through what I'm going through. And these ladies were incredible. They shared their stories, they shared their successes, they shared their business ideas, they shared their successes, academics. It was beautiful to watch. It was beautiful to watch. And I will drop some of the pictures on this segment for that day, just to show a sneak peek of what went down on the day. And I'm grateful for the support that I've received from the ladies, and the support that I will continue giving the ladies. And I think more women are going to come on this show. They are going to share their stories. They are going to motivate other mothers. They are going to tell us about their healing process, and we are going forward. I think we need this. There are so many organizations that deal with gender-based violence, that deal with so many things that women go through, but we also need to hear how women heal from loss, and how they get up, how they use that pain to develop something that could help somebody else, something that could be um, that that could bring us all united, and that could bring us together with love, with, you know. And I thank you for having had the time to listen to this story that I wanted to share with you. And I'm hoping with the next episode, when I will be engaging with more and more women that have went through similar experiences, that you give us support, you like, you comment, you subscribe, and we meet, and we heal each other, and we engage, and we empower each other, because empowered women empower other women, and inspired women also inspire women. So thank you so much for having had time for my story. I don't know if there's any detail that I have left, but if there's any detail that I've left, you will hear about it on other segments where, and other episodes where I will be engaging with other women. Maybe I will add a bit here and there and engage with them on their stories, and also, you know, thank you so much.